If I asked you to think of a mostly mountainous country in southern Asia, what would you think of? Maybe India, maybe Thailand, possibly even Nepal. But probably you're not thinking of the small nation in the mountains that is Bhutan. And today in this video, we're going to be giving Bhutan some recognition by exploring the urbanism of the country and going through the multi-layered approach that they use to design their cities, which may be an inspiration for the rest of the world. Let's jump right in. First of all, where even is Bhutan? It's right here, wedged between India and China, small mountainous nation, but there's quite a bit going on. And if you're going to talk about urbanism in Bhutan, one of the first things you need to think about is how religion plays a role in the urban design of all cities in Bhutan. Bhutan is a majority Buddhist country, but surrounded by multiple Hindu countries, and Buddhism is very well integrated into the design and building of cities. Unique Bhutanese zoning codes require a lot of Buddhist monasteries to be built at various intervals throughout the mountains. As you can see in many pictures of the country, there's always a monastery somewhere, and it's very much not by accident. A great example of how Bhutan is just different from the rest of the world is its capital, Thimphu. This city is built in a traditional architectural style, also mandated by Bhutanese zoning, and creates an interesting vibe where the city almost feels like a village in the mountains rather than the capital holding government and administrative buildings. And to be fair, you wouldn't be totally remiss if you were saying that. There's strict height limits, which often make the cities feel less like cities and more like small towns. And the atmosphere of people connecting with each other and Bhutanese relative mindfulness is kind of evident everywhere, making it feel more villagey too. And according to the population data, you wouldn't be wrong either. Thimphu is one of the smallest capitals in its part of Asia, especially when there's many megacities very built up and very hectic and active. Thimphu's more intimate feel is rare, with sidewalks, smaller roads, less traffic, and a very distinctly traditional architecture style rather than just hodgepodge of buildings built at various times, like many other places. Although it's definitely not a model that all world cities should follow, it is relatively commendable that Bhutan managed to keep their unique identity around, while many other cities have become relatively gentrified and have become very 21st century oriented. The kind of back to the basics urbanism approach that Bhutan has taken is revolutionary in its own way. It's not all flashy infrastructure, but it's enough to keep the city going into the 21st century and keep it running as a great place for future generations to enjoy. And that really is what a city should be. No matter where the city is, it should be able to work for the people that live there. And this live, work, and enjoy city balance has really been mastered in Bhutan. But if you're looking for some flashy infrastructure, I'd be remiss not to mention the Gelephu mindfulness city that Bhutan is developing. Out of everything, this is probably the thing that has pushed Bhutan into the mainstream media the most. Western media has started covering this project, and bigger YouTube channels than mine have already done feature-length videos on this. The map you're looking at is of Gelephu currently. It's a modest border town on the Bhutan-India border with not too many claim to fames, but it's soon to be transformed. This is a Google Street View frame along the Sarpang Gelephu Trongsha Highway. I definitely did not nail that pronunciation. But it's a relatively modest place, as you can see here. There's some buildings on the side streets off from here, but this city is generally similar to the rest of Bhutan. Just a small village on the fringe of the mountain. The thing about this one is that there's a transformation plan in hand. And that plan I will let be explained by one of the project founders himself. The main architectural authority of the project is Bjarke Ingels Group, based in Denmark, who also did Copenhagen, a very well-known Danish project to transform an old industrial area into a ski resort district. This project was meant to create a bigger economic hub for Bhutan than they already have in Thimphu, and it was also meant to become a sort of meditative city, which is something that hasn't been done anywhere else. These renderings will give you a rough idea of what it'll be like. It certainly looks relatively walkable and like something that would help support urbanism in the country. Ultimately, though, some stuff like the height limit and very strict zoning codes may not help the cities in Bhutan to grow, the idea of meditativeness and building it right, not building it fast, could really stand to be used in a lot of other countries. If you want to learn more on Bhutan's projects currently happening, I'll leave some links in the description. And if you want to watch more videos of mine, click the video that is going to be coming up on screen at some point.